Hey there. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to hit enemies with bullets in a 3D game. We'll be doing everything with AI. So if you've tried this before, you might know that it can be pretty hard to make things physically bump into each other in a 3D game. So I'll walk you through how to do it, and you'll start with this great setup project. Link in the description, where you can easily shoot this dude, but not at him. To make your own version, you can click the remix button here, and we're gonna get started. The first thing that we'll need to figure out is how do we know whenever the bullet has actually hit the enemy? Games often do this by taking the bullet and then putting an invisible line in front of it. This is called a ray, and if anything touches that ray, like an enemy, then you know the bullet has hit the enemy. So that's what the ray should look like if you could see it in the game. And actually, that's what I think would be great to do first. So before using any, before anything happens when the ray touches the enemy, we could tell Rosie, create a ray for the bullet. And the ray should look like a line in front of the bullet. So then we'll also want to let Rosie know nothing should happen when ray hits the enemy. And one last thing that could help is when you're adding new feature, you can tell Rosie to make a class for the feature, the ray. And that will make the new code more organized and a lot more likely to work. So let's take a shot at him. Ha, ha. Hey, it looks pretty good. Okay, so now that the ray is in the right spot, we can tell Rosie to make the bullet hit the enemy. So I'll say, when the ray hits the enemy, remove the bullet from the game and deal damage to the enemy. Uh-oh. So the ray should definitely is hitting the enemy, but nothing's happening. Alright, so Rosie wrote the code that should make the ray actually hit the enemy, but it's obviously not working. So that's whenever it's great to just ask Rosie for some help. So what I'll do is say, the ray is passing right through the enemy. What change would make the enemy's green body able to get hit by the ray? And once she tells me how, I will say, let's make that change in the game right. Okay, let's check this out. Hey, okay, I hit him. So that's a little weird. First, let's talk about what Rosie just did. Rosie said that the enemy's body, like the green character you see in the game, couldn't actually get hit by rays. So she just switched the setting on, and then now the game realizes that the rays are hitting it. So there's still another issue, and it's like that. Well, you see the ray is super long, and that means the bullets are hitting the enemy right away. All we gotta do is say make the ray 80% or something like that. Shorter. Uh-oh. So the ray clearly looks shorter, and the bullet is hitting the enemy from like really far away. So to figure out how that's happening, it might help to remember that the visual line for the ray is not actually the same as the invisible line in front of our bullet. So I'll say The array visual length was changed, but not the actual length of the raycast, which is another word for the invisible line. So, what's prevented the two from being in sync? Let's fix that ASAP. Help you. Hey, it looks really good. So now we got the raycast to work very well when we're hitting the enemy. But look at that. Got these little red lines flying around the screen. It looks so weird. So all we gotta do there is just say, let's hide the ray from being shown on the screen. Yeah, that's much better. So now that we can actually hit the enemy, one thing that would make it so much more satisfying is the cool sound effect. And lucky for you, click the Assets tab. And since you opened the Setup project, this bullet sound is already here for you. So that means all we gotta do is say, play a sound when the bullet hits the enemy. And use the sound effects to bring it up. Type the at symbol. And then there's at the top, bullet hit. Send it. Like winning the lottery. So, bing, bing, bing. So one more cool thing we could do for your game is to get some more enemies in here. And there's a setting in the game that will spawn some more enemies. So all we gotta say is, when the game starts, let's create waves of enemies rather than just one enemy. Bring it on. Oh man. These guys are like tanks. Basically, that's everything we're going to be doing here for this tutorial. I'm really glad that you followed along on Rosebud, and I hope this helps you make some amazing 3D games. So keep on lookout for some more tutorials, and I'll see you later.